Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. First off, I'd like to thank the new subscribers here at the Big Ranch Show. I'd like to welcome them to the show. Thank you all for joining the Big Ranch Show, and thank you for subscribing. Please come back for more videos, and please hit that little bell out beside your subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything from here at the Big Ranch Show. So, this video is about Judge Kavanaugh. Judge Kavanaugh, of course, was a federal judge who was appointed to the Supreme Court and was confirmed on Saturday after about a few months of, fighting between the left and the right. Now, Judge Kavanaugh, looking at his record, I didn't see anything majorly wrong with him. He seemed to be a good fit on paper. I didn't like the fact that he was a conservative justice because I do not support what a lot of those conservative judges want to do. From taking a woman's, reproductive rights away to ending gay marriage. Not to mention ending the Affordable Care Act, which take it away and you're going to have a lot of people like myself who never leave Medicaid. I would love to be able to leave Medicaid. And if I ever had the income to do so, I would love to have insurance. Right now, I do not have the money for insurance, so Medicaid is my only option. So those are some reasons why I don't generally support conservative people being on the Supreme Court. But we have a supposed conservative in the White House, therefore we're going to get conservative justices. I was okay with that. Then came the allegations from Dr. Ford. The allegations of sexual misconduct from when he was in high school, corroborated by other people at Yale that said he did the same thing to them. And then Jeff Flake called for an investigation by the FBI after he was already pushed into the final vote. And the FBI was given less than a week to investigate this particular incident. Unfortunately, the FBI had a very limited investigation, limited by the White House, during which time Donald Trump got on national television and mocked and laughed at a potential victim of sexual assault in this country. That was disgusting, by the way. Donald Trump, you are an evil, despicable pile of shit. Case closed. But back to Judge Kavanaugh. And so the FBI investigation was limited. There were some 20 interviews they could have done that they didn't do any on. 20 people were trying to contact the FBI saying that they had corroborating evidence, or at least corroborating stories, on what happened with Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Ford. None of them were interviewed. No investigation was done on that front. Literally, they just reviewed the information they already had, and then refused to release over half the information because it might be inflammatory. Oh, bite me on that. If it was inflammatory, then maybe we should have known what it was. But the FBI investigation, like I told a friend of mine, it is what it is. It's done. He's been confirmed. But here's why I didn't think he should have been confirmed. First off, he's a liar. A bold-faced liar. He got up there in his defense of himself after Dr. Ford spoke and said that it was legal for him to drink, that the word boofing and Devil's Triangle did not mean what everyone thought it meant. And those are just a few of the lies he told. Now, if the man is willing to lie about something as small as what a word meant, or whether or not he drank when he was 17, or illegally or not, then what else will the man lie about? His views? How he'll do his, make his decisions? Will he base them on the Constitution, or will he base them on his own emotional feelings? A justice isn't supposed to be emotional. A justice is supposed to follow the law, or follow the Constitution, not follow their heart and their emotions. Now, Judge Kavanaugh's got a lot of things that I was concerned with, but my biggest problem is the fact that he was a liar. I thought he would be an okay justice for a conservative, but he was a liar. It's what he turned out to be. I for one found Dr. Ford to be credible. I found Brett Kavanaugh to be not credible in the least, because of the lies he told while he sat there at that hearing. But back to the emotion part of it. And the reason I believe that he will rule, but he'll make decisions and make rulings based on his personal opinion and not the Constitution, based on his emotions and not the Constitution, is the fact that during his little hearing, his defense of himself, after, when Dr. Ford gave her testimony, Kavanaugh sat there and screamed at the Democrats on the panel, on the Judiciary Committee. He screamed and ranted and raved at them, vowing reprisals if he was to lose, if he wasn't to be confirmed, and that there would be reprisals even if he was confirmed, for putting him through all this. Well, what about the torture, Mr. Kavanaugh, that Dr. Ford has dealt with her entire life because of what you did? Maybe you didn't rape her, but you did do some sexually inappropriate things. And that's where we got a problem in this country, because we got boys out there who believe, and just like Judge Kavanaugh probably did back in the 80s, that he had a right to a female's body. You don't. If a woman does not give consent, I don't care if she's drunk, I don't care if she's wearing a miniskirt, I don't care what she is doing. If she has not given you consent to touch her in a sexual manner, or do things around her in a sexual manner, then you are guilty of sexual misconduct and sexual assault in many cases. And there is a problem. I believe we have to do something about this. Judge Kavanaugh is already on the Supreme Court. There's nothing we can do about that now. You can sit there and talk about impeachment of the guy, but it's not going to happen. Republicans control Congress. That'll never happen. Plus, the FBI was never allowed to fully investigate Kavanaugh, therefore we will never get any more information on Brett Kavanaugh. But what we can do is teach young boys and teen boys that they don't have a right to a woman's body, or anyone else's body for that matter. You don't have the right to try to rape somebody. You don't have the right to stick your genitals in somebody's face. And I definitely agree with the meme I saw come across Facebook last week, that basically was discussing the fact that maybe if more teenage boys thought that their actions from high school would stay with them for the rest of their lives, like what they may have done to other people, maybe there would be less of these boys doing this stuff. Now, I fully believe that you can't stop all acts of violence, all forms of sexual abuse. Do I wish we could? Yes. But we could at least stop some of them. And teenage boys need to quit being taught that it's okay to treat girls like they're, like subhuman. We gotta quit letting boys think that it's okay to treat girls like they're a lesser. That's not how it should work. You do not have a right to sex. Check your constitution. But what we have to do is stop allowing boys to think that it's just boys being boys if you randomly grab women by the genitals or you do whatever. It's not right. It is not okay. And I really have nothing else to say. But Brett Kavanaugh has a number of things that are going to be problematic. He supports NSA warrantless wiretaps on all Americans. He supports stop and frisk, even if the officers have no just cause to stop you. He's made it very clear in the past that he doesn't support gay marriage. That he doesn't support a woman's right to choose. These are things that I believe in. I believe that the NSA should not be allowed to warrantlessly wiretap Americans. I do not believe cops should be able to stop and frisk you simply because you look like somebody they should stop and frisk. If they don't have probable cause to stop you, they shouldn't be able to stop you. But we'll see what happens over the next year or so. My thought is we've got at least maybe 1 to 5 years before Roe v. Wade is fully under attack. We will see. I believe that if Roe v. Wade comes back up, if someone takes an abortion case, that the court will rule to strike down Roe v. Wade. That is definitely what I believe will happen if a case like that is brought to the Supreme Court. But we shall see. Anyhow, this has been the Big Rant Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I'll see you down the road.